You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! E3 is dead, and Geoff Keighley killed it, and welcome to Podcast PXN episode 140. I am one of your hosts, your favorite Portland Mexican, ISO Christian Macias, and I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan, not in Kentucky, Daniel Prindle.
Hello, I'm in Florida.
Perfect. Also, I'm sorry. I don't know. The Nintendo aficionado, Roro.
Hello, Yahoo. I'm happy to be here.
And one half of the Men Engage podcast, Gage Dempster, a.k.a. at Gilbo Biggins.
Hola.
For you visual folks, the podcast looks a bit different today. I'm running it on my PC, so different layout. Everything is on the fly right now. I think I'm running the show correctly. Everything looks good on my end. But if anything happens, you know why. Dan is not at the helm. This man runs a tight ship, and I'm flying, dude. So there you have it. Otherwise, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN, on twitch.tv/podcastpxn, and on Twitter as well. The topic of the show this week is our Summer Games 2022 Showcase recap. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Fellas, today... Okay, I'm going to go switch. Hold on, let's switch documents. Okay, today, small amount of quick bites. Just the essentials, because we have a meaty, massive, ginormous topic of the show. So
we got the extras and premium tiers later.
Oh, I like it. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, you know what? Why not start with that? Speaking of which, the new PS Plus has launched as of June 13th, Monday. And it is the tier system. You have the essential, extra, and premium tiers. I have the premium. I can talk a little bit more about the premium tier once we get into what you got for me. Otherwise, yeah, new service is up now. If you have it, hope you enjoy it. If not, dang, that sucks. Moving on, Xbox is partnering up with Samsung to launch an Xbox TV app allowing Game Pass Ultimate subscribers to access their library on Samsung smart TVs, and that is out June 30th. So soon, and apparently, according to people who tried it at Summer Games Fest, it works pretty dang well. So that is awesome that you don't even need a console now, just a TV and a peripheral, and you can play your Xbox games on the TV. Very cool stuff.
Wild. Yeah, I can't wait. I actually, my mom has a Samsung smart TV. So I'm excited to give this a shot. That'll be fun.
Ooh.
And their most recent cloud update that they did for Xbox Cloud streaming is so much better than it used to be as well. So, like, the latency is so much better. So it's very cool that it actually works well.
Does anybody here have a Samsung TV at home? Like, just aside from... Okay. Will you try it out, Gage? I don't know if you have Ultimate or not.
I do. I'll try it out for the just to see how it works. But I mean, I have really good internet, so I figured I just keep downloading things.
Yeah,
but
sure.
This is really, like you said, it's really cool. Like the barrier of entry is really low now. Like you just need a controller and a TV, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, this comes from Bloomberg. God of War supposedly still slated for November. Official date will be revealed at the end of the month. At its own state of play? Question mark? We will see. It feels like I'm getting whiplash. Like twice a week, there's a new God of War release date, and it's either in 2022 or 2023. So we'll see.
It's coming.
Has Sony ever had 2 stated plays in 1 month?
No. Well, there might have been one, because I remember they did one where they announced a Last of Us state of play, and I think that was like 2 or 3 weeks later. And I just based on timing, it could have been the next month, but it wasn't like 4 weeks later, if I remember right.
I was gonna say, if we're coming up on this, then I have no idea, because that state of play was what, June 5th that just happened, or June 2nd. So
yeah, for June.
We also still don't have a date for Uncharted on PC, which is interesting, because that was announced. That was announced before God of War was announced and released for PC, and before Spider-Man was announced for PC, and before Last of Us was announced for PC, and we still don't have a release date. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. So that'll be interesting to see when we get all this news.
Could be Naughty Dog if they're the ones that are helming it, just kind of busy with all their projects that they just haven't, optimized it yet. But yeah, who knows? That's a good I didn't know it wasn't out yet, so thank you for that. Anyway, the Assassin's Creed Showcase. I don't know what happened. Honestly, I didn't watch, but people that did watch the future of Assassin's Creed will be revealed this September. Nothing yet, but you can, if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, you can look forward to what's coming next with AC this September.
I mean,
okay,
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, not me.
I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm not that optimistic about what Assassin's Creed's going to be turning into with a live service aspect. So I guess we'll see.
It already feels like a live service game, and it's not. So the fact that they're turning it into one is like,
Yeah.
Very weird to have a stream and then be like, tune in late in a few months for what we're actually going to show off. So I don't know. Speaking of weird things, because we had a good discussion about this. Fallout 5, according to Todd Howard, is the next game after the Elder Scrolls 6. And at first I texted the group chat saying, this is kind of a weird announcement. And then Gage was like, well, technically it's not really an announcement, right? It's just like them confirming that they are going to be working on this after the Elder Scrolls 6. So I think I fall on that. I don't think it's quite an announcement, even though it is confirmation. Like an announcement is like that Elder Scrolls, like, here it is. It's an actual thing that's real and we're working on it. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long time until you get Fallout 5, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you were definitely correct in saying that it's semantics, because it is. It's just, I don't know, I saw a lot of places like IGN and GameSpot tweeting out, this big thing, Todd Howard announces Fallout 5, and I was like, what? He was just answering a one question in a series of questions about Starfield, so it kind of felt like people were taking it and running with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really feel like it was meant to be an announcement. I feel like it was just more so somebody saying, what are you working on after? And he's like, well, we got Elder Scrolls 6 after this, and then Fallout after that. And it's like, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, it's cool to get confirmation. I kind of figured that this was coming, because that usually seems to be their sort of output, is Elder Scrolls Fallout. So I'm excited. But we'll probably be playing it in an actual apocalypse, which is unfortunate.
Dude, that is harrowing to say, but you're so right.
and like they didn't, like, Todd didn't announce this or whatever, like you were saying, Gage, but like I feel like it's very similar to them coming out and saying Elder Scrolls 6 is coming after Starfield, what was that, 3 or 4 years ago, because that game's still 4 or 5 years away from now even. So it's really kind of, in the same boat as that. Like, fans, I think, of those franchises just want to know, like, hey, is this coming at some point? And they just want to feel good when they go to bed at night, knowing that the next mainline Fallout is coming. It's just going to, it's going to be after 2030, probably, which is wild.
That is so insane to say, but yeah. I mean, that's just how long games take to make now, right?
Yep.
Last quick bite here. This comes from Deadline. Gran Turismo, because we were talking about this last week, I think. But as a TV show. Instead, now Gran Turismo film coming August 11th, 2023. Directed still by Neil Blomkamp. Based on a true story, the plot centers around a teenage Gran Turismo player on PlayStation becoming an actual professional race car driver. And let me tell you guys, I'm in. I'm sold. Why? Because it's Neil Blomkamp, and that is the only reason.
He directed Fast and Furious movies? Did he?
No.
No? Oh,
District 9.
Somebody completely different. Okay.
District 9, Elysium, Chappie.
Okay, I know what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about a completely different movie that was announced.
Halo Landfall, which was the greatest live-action advertisement for a Halo game.
Better than the show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, infinitely. Infinitely better.
I was waiting for Dan to be a hater of Neil. Gran Turismo here, but...
No, I love the Landfall stuff. Yeah, Neil Blomkamp's great. Yeah.
I just want to say, this is it's funny, we were all talking about like what could this possibly be. For some reason, this plot line I didn't consider this, and I feel like this is actually a decent idea. Like, we were all kind of joking around where it's like, what would a Gran Turismo movie even be like? But I'm like, this is kind of like interesting. Like, it'll be interesting to see how this works. And I mean, his photorealistic visual effects company that he owns and runs, like, I'm sure this movie's gonna look awesome.
And I remember them doing this, I think it was like 2016 or 15 when I think it was GT Sport when they were doing this stuff. Like, the winner of the GT Sport like tournament would then go on to race like actual professional race cars. And then I think they turned into an actual race car driver. I don't quite remember the full storyline, but like, I tuned in when they were still doing like the GT Sport stuff tournament with PlayStation. Like, that was cool on its own, turning into actual movie. like an hour 40 action film. Could be very cool. Action drama. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, all he's got to do is dodge the cringe element, right? Like, I don't want to hear the word gamer said 8 times a sentence.
Yeah.
But if he can dodge that, I feel like this is totally like ripe for success, I think.
Everybody show me their tongues real quick. It's time to lay out that meat, that street meat. We got a few items for you. Some I'm so sorry. Some rumors across the web. A new, according to Alana Pierce on a recent stream, a new Nintendo Direct is happening on June 29th. And this is from her words. I'm sorry, this is from Video Game Chronicle. Pierce's comments match with what VGC has been told that Nintendo is planning a Direct later this month. So whether it actually is or not on the 29th, we'll wait and see. But it looks like there is one coming at the end of the month.
Hope so. Got that Bayonetta 3 release date.
Oh, dude. For real. Speaking of actually Nintendo, on our last 2 episodes, we were doing predictions for all the summer showcases, and we also did some for Nintendo. So I don't think we're going to do kind of our tally, our post-mortem of the showcases until after the Nintendo one, and then we can tally our points and see who won, if that sounds Gucci.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Ro, you've got some meat for me, and it's
yes.
on fire.
Yes.
Whoa, that's
Fire Emblem,
for
yes.
after the podcast.
But yeah, speaking of the tallies and our points, I'm kind of mad at myself for not predicting this one. Like, of course, a new Fire Emblem should be on the way right about now, and that is exactly the mute that I've got for you guys. Apparently, the next Fire Emblem has leaked. Some screenshots have been leaked on Twitter and other credible in huge quotations sources. But yeah, we got a screen with the Fire Emblem character. It's all in Japanese, so I can't really read it. But the leaked information says that you might be able to summon older Final Fantasy or Fire Emblem characters from past games. Apparently, it's a collaboration between Intelligent Systems, which usually makes these games, Koei, Tecmo, and Gust. But yeah, I've been a fan of I keep saying Final Fantasy because I'm excited for the stream, but Fire Emblem since like the 3DS game. So I'm not really a hardcore fan, but I have fallen in love with them recently. So I'm excited for the new one. So I hope these are true. The screenshots don't really do anything for me, but I'm just excited for a new Fire Emblem game.
Heck yeah. I don't play.
Is this correct? Is this correct? I've always heard that Fire Emblem is like the more classic Final Fantasy style of gameplay, whereas Final Fantasy's kind of diverged into something else now. Is that
more
right?
Action. It's definitely kept its like strategic elements as opposed to Final Fantasy, where it's moved to more action. But yeah, it has a turn-based fighting still, but it's more like more advanced wars than Final Fantasy.
Gotcha.
More Final Fantasy tactics than Final Fantasy.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, tomorrow is the Square Enix showcase, and they've been hyping this thing up for days. People like, I forget who from I think the director of Final Fantasy VII Remake 2 was saying, everybody record your reactions to the stream, and the voice actors for Final Fantasy VII were even like quote tweeting it like, tune in. So the signs are there. It's pointing towards Remake 2 being announced tomorrow, but there was something else. A leak, if you will, from the Snitch, again, from last week, who posted a picture of a supposed Crisis Core remaster that is supposed to be announced tomorrow. So you FF7 Crisis Core fans are in for a treat if this is indeed true, and it seems like it might be.
Christian, if you don't mind, I actually just saw something else that we might want to throw in a street meet.
Oh, tell me, give me that meat.
I'm gonna give you the meat. Are you ready?
Hmm?
Riot Pixels is a third-party website that tracks upcoming games and release dates and stuff like that, similar to OpenCritic, where it's very reputable, but it's separate from all the big companies. It's just its own sort of open source type thing. It just leaked Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection on PC for June 20th, and then quickly got rid of that. So it was up for a second. People screen grabbed it. So this is interesting. June 20th. I mean, today's the what? Today's the 15th, 16th.
Yep.
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 15th.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get a blog post maybe or something. I don't know, but a lot of people are pointing to this. Tom Henderson pointed it out, so I don't know if that's sort of like a if he's taking it seriously, then maybe it should be taken seriously. But maybe Uncharted is imminent on PC.
Crazy timing. Like you were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So there you have it. That's the end of the meet. So sad. Everybody wash your hands. Let's move into news of the week. And again, we have one news item, but it's filled with a lot of micro items. A mini showcase appetizer to whet your palate for the topic of the show later. The Capcom Showcase was yesterday, 2 days ago. When was it? What is time?
I think it was yesterday.
It happened earlier this week.
Yeah, I don't
In
remember.
it, we got news on a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna break it down for you. And I'm just gonna rattle off, I guess. I don't know if how you can stop me. Okay.
Okay.
Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak gets a demo, and it is out now as of yesterday. You can go play the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak demo.
Good.
Good. Cool.
It's gonna be a great game.
We also saw more. Well, yeah, I think I agree. People like Monster Hunter Rise, so Dan, I agree. Is it on your thing?
Yep.
The DLC.
I
is
hope
on
it's a
this thing,
stinker.
yeah. Or the expansion.
Yeah.
I hope it's a stinker. He says.
Speaking of stinkers, I don't know. Exo Primal, we got a new look at it. It ran a little weird on stream, and it could be because of the stream was being a bit weird on my end, but it's an alpha build. However, a closed network test was announced for Exo Primal. I didn't get the date for it, so I apologize, but that's incoming. If you're interested in Exo Primal, look it up because a network test is on the way. Moving on, this is a little bit weird. An announcement of an announcement, but a Dragon's Dogma celebration video is scheduled in the next coming days. So if you're a Dragon's Dogma fan, look forward to an announcement soon on the future of the series in the next coming days. Here we go. This is the good stuff right here. Here was the Resident Evil Bang Bang that we were all waiting for, right? Resident Evil Village DLC. No, come on, man. Don't laugh. I'm being
Dirty
serious.
Dan, take it seriously.
Yeah.
Talk about Resident Evil here. Come
Grow
on.
up.
Yeah. All right.
Resident Evil Village DLC has been revealed. It is named Shadows of Rose. Spoilers, I suppose, for Resident Evil Village. And it's also getting a third-person mode because Shadows of Rose is in third person, and now you can play the entirety of Village in third person with all new animations for Ethan Winters and the people you fight against. So very cool stuff.
That's kind of exciting. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I love third-person Resident Evil. I think I think when the series is at its best in third person. However, I think the way this game was designed, specifically Village, the beginning sections of Village, I think are better in first person because of how it looks and how those levels are designed. I think it's better to experience in first person. I'm thinking of the house, Lady Dimitrescu, Castle Dimitrescu, entering a doorway and seeing how huge she is. Insane. That works better in first person. And of course, the house Beneviento, which if you haven't played that section is insane. Still,
Yes. I was just going to echo the same thing, Christian. I love third-person Resident Evil.
Yeah. Do you play Resident Evil? I don't know.
How dare you?
I didn't know.
I played literally every Resident Evil except for the first one. The first one, I've never, even the remake of the first one, it was more of a remaster, and I was not too high on it.
I mean,
so.
Dan was probably in college when the first one came out, so obviously he's played all of them.
Gage,
Dan probably worked on it.
I would have words for you here, but I can't say those words because
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm gonna
taking
have
advantage of your situation right now.
You know what?
Exactly.
I'm gonna out myself as an old person too. Older, I used to have Duck Hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, you're old.
We also got to look at Resident Evil 4 remake. Not enough in my opinion. Like it was very short. Like why would you say look forward to more Resident Evil 4, and then you show like, I don't know, maybe like a minute and a half more of. Either way, it's looking very good. We got to hear a little bit of a Spanish accent in there, so maybe a little bit of the campiness still remains, right? That classic camp from Resident Evil 4, what makes it so beloved, part of what makes it so beloved, still might be in its DNA. But it's looking really, really good. The atmosphere is dark and spooky, and yeah, I can't wait. Okay.
Yes.
Apparently, everyone else is like, whatever.
No, I love Resident Evil 4, and
yeah, clearly,
I'm very excited for this. I feel like I've already echoed this so many times. I don't want to sound like an echo chamber, but literally, yes, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game, so I'm very excited for this. Still,
I'm in the same exact boat. Resident Evil 4 is I think the best one, and it's been teased for so long. We talked about it for so long. I mean,
which one's
Resident Evil 2 remake actually maybe is
remake.
To remake, that's fair. But
good.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 2 remake versus the original 4. So
Sure.
maybe 4 remake, will dethrone that. But
and yeah, the other thing is like if you're comparing 2 remake to 4, which is like a 15-year-old game at this point, or I don't remember exactly when it came out. Obviously, the 2 remake holds up a lot better than the original 4. So yeah.
But 4 still holds up really well as well.
Yeah.
And I've been playing more of it on PC. What's that?
The tank controls are a little bit.
It's not
still
tank
cumbersome.
controls
Necessarily.
Isn't it?
for Leon,
For Leon,
it's tanky. He's a tanky boy. He's a tanky boy.
Yeah, it's stiff. I'll give you that.
He's stiff. Leon is stiff in that. He is very stiff.
But like that's the Resident Evil charm, from the beginning games. Yeah.
Right.
But speaking of 2 remake, Resident Evil 2 remake, 3 remake, and 7 are getting next gen patches, and they are out as of whenever this showcase was. It includes 4K output, a high frame rate option as well, ray tracing, and 3D audio, and you can update those for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles for free. PC, that patch is available to download right now. And I thought about it. I thought about replaying 2 remake on the spot.
This is incredible. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going to get up. Is that better for you?
That's worse.
As the PC representative, I need to throw this out there because this just broke like an hour ago. If you're on PC and you update to these new ones, you cannot go back and play the unenhanced version, and that doesn't sound like a big deal, except for that this new enhanced version of these games actually raises the minimum requirements for your PC. So if you're somebody who's just able to play it now, hopefully you have auto update turned off, because if not, you're screwed and you can't do anything about it. But if you have auto updates turned off, maybe don't update just yet if you are not sure that you can run the new versions. I don't know why Capcom is getting rid of the old ones. It seems like a really bad idea, but hopefully this will be solved. But something to point out for people that are playing on lower scale or sort of not super high end PCs is that once you upgrade to this next gen enhanced version, you cannot go back to the old version.
See,
So
Dan,
something to keep in mind.
Dan, this is the kind of critical insight I'm looking for when I say things on the podcast. Like, Gage, what a thoughtful and response, advising people about it. Thank you.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it,
What would be cool is if Steam and the PC libraries did something, and this isn't a joke, this is me being serious, something similar to smart delivery, because if Steam can recognize your machine and say, hey, this person has a 1080 Ti or whatever, and they recognize your PC is not powerful enough, they should just deliver you the game that, is for your platform. I don't know.
No. This has to do with Capcom delisting the old one. It's kind of like when GTA Definitive Trilogy came out and they got rid of the old ones. That's what's happening here.
I know. I just feel like
that sucks.
It's a higher fidelity version or whatever. So it would make sense if they kept both. I'm thinking that if Steam had a feature in there where they could say, hey, this platform can only run this version of the game, so let's just keep this version on there, not update to this new version. I don't know. That's just a random thought I had.
I love PC gaming, but this is some of the woes that comes with it, man.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
I was playing RE4 HD project with the mods, right? And I had messed up. Apparently something messed up with one of the mods, and then all the like models were like disgusting mannequins, like with no textures on them. And I'm like, well,
What were you trying to mod them into, Christian?
no, I used the HD project.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
high
like-
definition, like 7K high
Okay.
definition.
The only game that I legit like installed mods for to be like, you know,
Promiscuous.
was Left 4 Dead. And
Why? What?
It's cool, man. Like, you know,
Of all the games?
it was awesome. Like
that's
I'm playing as anime characters, and like Shrek is like one of the people, like the big zombies. The witch was like Thomas the Tank Engine. You can hear it like from far away.
What?
I've seen those videos. That's terrifying.
Shout out to this random mod I saw. I didn't download it because I'm lame. I like to download immersive mods. But somebody made a mod where the tank in Left 4 Dead is Terry Crews from the Old Spice commercials, and
Oh,
he yells
God.
power every time he
Oh
comes
my
at you. Oh my god. I saw that and I was like, I'm not downloading that, but that's amazing. That's brilliant. So shout out to Left 4 Dead mods. Probably the best modding community of any game ever.
I think Ro's the best mod of any game ever.
That's fair.
Thank you. I noticed that, unless you're about to bring it up, Christian, but I noticed there's an omission here from the Resident Evil section.
Is there
I
now?
understand. I
What did
think
I miss?
I mean,
Oh.
Capcom also forgot about this game for the
Oh, I skipped it.
Resident Evil Reverse, that multiplayer game. Was
Yeah,
supposed to be
Mercenaries?
coming out.
No,
Is it called Mercenaries?
Reverse?
If it's
Oh, is it
Mercenaries,
different?
then I think it's different. Is it not?
Reverse is the one
Resident
that
Evil verse.
plays all the different characters, and it's like a
Yeah.
multiplayer deathmatch.
That's one that I'm thinking of. I don't know
Yeah.
what Mercenaries is.
Mercenaries is a mode in Village where it's like a wave horde mode.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny because I think wasn't that mode supposed to release with Resident Evil 7?
Mhm.
It just haven't done it yet. Yeah.
Thank you, Ro, for keeping me in check. Yes, if you are a fan of
Absolutely.
Reverse, check that out.
No one.
I also skipped over Mercenaries content that came out on the showcase. There are new playable characters from Village. You can now play as Dimitrescu, Heisenberg, other characters. So if you're a
I'm gonna-
Mercenaries fan,
You know what I'm gonna do, Christian? I'm gonna play as Lady Dimitrescu. I'm gonna crank the field of view, and I'm gonna look down.
you're disgusting, dude.
Ugh.
Everyone keeps thinking that I'm a Lady Dimitrescu fan. Like, oh, I know why you played that game or why you want to play it in VR. And I have to correct everyone. No, I'm a fan
You
of
like
her
the
daughters.
daughters?
I have zero
like the
sympathy.
daughters.
You get the reputation that you earned, Christian. You have earned this reputation.
Anyway, let's
I'll
move
admit
on.
it.
Let's move on to our fantasy critic draft. Check in a new game coming out tomorrow on Game Pass. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge is getting incredible reviews across the board. I think it's in the high 80s. What's that?
I'm laughing at Gage's reaction.
Oh, did Gage count? Well, we'll find out in a second. We'll find out in a second here. Ro picked it as one of his games on his draft. Let's see if the points have. Yes, they have. Here we go. So far at an 87 on OpenCritic, so you're gonna get some 17 points, my man. Which means
Let's
Gage
go.
apparently is gonna get a negative 17. Why would you counterpick this? I don't know,
Panic at the time. I did this months ago. I don't know.
dude. I mean, let's take a look at Gage's.
I'm
draft
gonna be like Amber Heard, and like my net worth for points is gonna be like in the negative
No.
now. I'm gonna be like negative 12 points by the end of this thing.
Gage's picks has 3 counter picks from his games, and so far 1, 2, 3 games that will not release this year.
Only 3? I feel like it's way more than that.
Replaced Last of Us Factions 2, and where's the other one down there? Redfall. All I've shifted.
Oh, maybe it is only 3. Okay.
Mhm.
That's not bad.
You're gonna
not
get
great.
some points on the board soon. Stray's coming out next month.
We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, sucks to be you.
It does. It really does. It's not great.
Ro apparently also has another game coming out next week, June 24th. AI: The Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative. What a name!
That is going to bang. I am very confident that that's going to get me some points too.
I wish I were the game. I would love to bang.
Oh.
What?
This is gonna bang, bro.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
Oh.
Uh,
Jesus.
And we have some more games in the rest of June. I have Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course coming out June 30th, also a Game Pass. And then Dan, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
Yes. My favorite game ever. I'll never play it.
Speaking of games, guys, what you got for me?
I don't know. You deleted my answer.
Oh, were you writing them
good.
down? I thought that was from last week, so I deleted everyone's answers. I'm sorry.
Mine was from last week because, I have been on vacation, so I just been playing Halo Infinite to get my challenges on my Series S. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that is very...
Halo Infinite to get my challenges on my...
Sorry. I just stopped talking. I opened up a new tab and then just stopped. I was going to make a joke about it being right next to your bed, but anyway.
It is. It's right there for all the podcast listeners. And then there's my niece on the bed watching the podcast.
Incredible.
Yes.
I forgot she was here, so I apologize for it. I don't know what I
She
said.
can't hear.
Okay, nice. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
I've got AirPods in, so
Yeah.
we're good.
Ro,
Yes,
anything
sir.
anything back to report?
Yes, I do. I teased you guys on the podcast, or not the podcast, on Summer Games Fest. I said you guys are going to be super proud of me for the game that I've been playing, and it was really hard to keep it in just now when we were talking about Resident Evil, because I am playing Resident Evil 4 on the PC right now. Yes.
What?
I know.
Did you get HD Project or just the
I did
standard?
not, just a regular one. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about this HD project thing, which I would have done if I had known about it. But knowing my laptop, it probably wouldn't have run it properly. But anyways, Resident Evil 4 is awesome so far. I'm not that deep into it. It is campy, and those are tank controls, Christian, aren't they? Are they not?
They are.
I don't think of it as tank. He plays more stiff, but like I'm not having to like stop and then move and then to go forward. You know what I mean? Like I can strafe a little bit.
Okay. The thing that's hard for me, just like obviously it's an older game, is having to stop and aim and not being able to move while I'm aiming the gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so weird, but I get it. For like I'm starting to get into the flow of it. It's making more sense as it goes along. And yeah. But I'm really enjoying it. I love the dialogue, super campy, as you guys were mentioning before. I love it. But yeah, it's a great game. I'm excited to find out why it's the best Resident Evil game. So yeah, I'm excited to keep playing. I haven't been scared yet. I know you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are always telling me that this is like the more actiony version of Resident Evil, not as creepy as the other entries. So that's kind of why I went for it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, having a good time so far. So I'm excited to report back as I get further. And I haven't found the President's Daughter yet. So
Do you like when they
still pretty early.
Do you like when they scream "Te voy a hacer picadillo"?
I did like that. Yes.
Bro,
Should I like
you
that? I
haven't
don't know.
you haven't found the President's Daughter yet, which means that you haven't heard about half the dialogue in that game, which is one word. Or
What?
I guess 2 words or 3 words.
Materno. What?
I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay, yeah, I know she can be kind of. I heard that she's been.
She literally
Kind of
she
annoying.
says that so much. I'm just like, please stop.
I did get the. I think this is a meme amongst the Resident Evil community. I don't know, but Leon running from the boulder. I did that.
Oh.
It was like, this is ridiculous, and I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You gotta mash that X button, eh?
Yeah, and just like faster
Dude,
than Sonic.
oh my god, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Cool game.
Very
Cooler
cool.
in VR, I will say.
Oh.
Yeah. Gage?
Christian, you're next. You don't.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I'll go next. I mean, I've also been playing RE4 still on PC. I've been jumping from different versions of RE4 recently. So, like, you know, trying into VR again and then going back to Steam and doing it. So, yeah, cool game as well. New PS Plus released. I streamed a few games. I wanted to check how that's working now when it's incorporated all into one area. See if it's any better or easier to stream games. Can confirm. Super simple, just like PS Now. On my PS5, you just hit stream. The game starts up. And I had very little input lag, and I played a few games, and I was trying games that were going to be intensive on input lag. They're like I downloaded Motorsport Apocalypse was the first one I did. Like, let's do a racing game, and I mean, if there was any, it was not noticeable and not enough for it to like interrupt gameplay. So it's going to vary depending on where you are in the country, but where I'm at, where the internet's just like it's good enough, you know, like. Portland doesn't have the best internet, but like it's good internet. I had no issues, so I thought that was great for me to have nothing on day one of the new like tier system. So that was cool. I also have a video up on the Penultimate Conquest detailing all the games that we want to come to the PS Plus. Check that out. Finally, this is the point where I want Ro to be proud of me for what I've been playing.
Ooh.
I'll start with the first game.
Okay.
I bought Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Yay!
Yeah,
I hope you like it.
It's I didn't at first. I thought it was just fine, and then like as the levels get more difficult and more varied, I'm like, I'm so wrong. This game is great and it's wholesome, and I'm really enjoying it.
I can't wait for you to get to like the last couple levels because it gets even crazier.
Yeah, I'm on the last level of the carnival, like the boss level of the carnival area. So,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah, so I'm there. Cool stuff. I love the challenge areas too, where you like go into beat this area in a small amount of time. That's been cool.
Yes.
And then I also downloaded the Naruto game for PS Plus, Shinobi Strikers.
Oh, okay.
And it is not a good game. It's not good, but it's awesome being a ninja with my friend and like fighting against other ninja. So that's cool, I guess. Gage.
I have decided that I was going to download a bunch of demos from games that we saw from the Summer Games Fest and stuff like that. So all three of these games were shown off at some point or another over the last week. I downloaded Midnight Fight Express, which is like an isometric brawler, and really fun, really smooth. Really enjoyed that one. I downloaded Agent 64, which is like a sort of GoldenEye type indie game. Yeah. That was super fun and played exactly like you remember the old Rare N64 shooters. That was really fun. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they do multiplayer. I mean, that would be pretty cool. As of right now, I think it's just single player, but that was fun. And then there's this game called Frozen Flame, which was it's a sort of action RPG / survival game. So you're chopping down trees, collecting resources, building your base, and all that stuff. But it's also got a bit more of a sort of old school adventure RPG feel to it, kind of similar to something like Valheim, but with a really nice low poly art style. And yeah, all three of those games really fun. Support the indies, all that stuff. All these demos are free on Steam right now if anybody has a PC and wants to give these a try. And I think actually all three of these are pretty low requirements for Shan. So if you want to jump into any of these, I'd recommend Midnight Fight Express and Agent 64 specifically for you. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay, before you do the topic of the show, Christian, we have a PSA here. Go for it. Go for it. Subscribe. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Let's go.
Please don't disappoint Dan's niece, everyone.
Yes.
Also, Gage, I'm surprised you didn't do Metal Hellsinger. Singer?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but then I was like, no.
Anyway, let's move on. I don't need this disappointment in my life. Topic of the show, our Summer Games 2022 Showcase recap, whatever you want to call it, the Geoff Keighley's, the Key 3s, the non-E3, E3, whatever. There was a lot announced over the past few days. We're going to cover two showcases in the topic of the show. Summer Games Fest by Geoff Keighley, and then, of course, the Xbox plus Bethesda Showcase. But first, we're going to start with Summer Game Fest. And I have a rundown here. There's a lot of bullet points. I think it's like kind of front heavy. So stop me as we go for whatever. And then, yeah, again, at any point, just stop me when you want to talk. You know what I mean?
Okay.
America's Hero is back, quote unquote. Guile is coming to Street Fighter 6. Cool stuff for you Street Fighter fans.
Sorry, go for it, Christian.
I am very excited. I think I'm going to check out Street Fighter 6. But please, bro.
Yes. No, I was pretty much going to say the same thing. Like everything that they've been showing for this game looks really fun, and that was a game that I actually forgot to mention in what you got from me. Not Street Fighter 6, but I did purchase Street Fighter 5 on Steam, and I've been playing that, trying to, dip my toes into that Street Fighter arena now before Street Fighter 6 comes out, and I am enjoying it very much. I don't understand the controls yet, and it doesn't make it easy because I'm not a fighting game person where, like, if you go to the command list, it's just like it doesn't show you the buttons, it shows you like the what do you call those, the arcade stick buttons. So I have no idea what any of these things are, so I'm still learning, but I'm excited for Street Fighter 6.
I will say, before we move on, the best part about Street Fighter 6 has been the fan art of Chun-Li. Cannot get enough of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Moving on, Aliens Dark Descent was announced. It is coming 2023, and as Gage noticed in our live reacts, it looks top-down. Could be a twin stick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The cover
That's cool.
looks insanely cool, so I might be checking this out depending on how that shakes up. A game I'm definitely going to be checking out is Callisto Protocol. We got 2 new trailers, and it looks terrifyingly incredible. Just absolutely brutal red band trailers of Jacob, the protagonist, dying in terrible, terrible ways. I cannot wait. It looks gorgeous.
That's some of the best parts in the original Dead Space was like the different ways that Isaac could die and like seeing the different like sequences play out. It was just insane.
I can't believe Dan is talking about this with a smile right next to his niece.
You know, it's fine.
Gotta start off
It's
young.
fine. We're talking about video games.
Oh, perfect. That's actually really smart. Gage put a G next to all the games he wants to talk about. I like that.
I'm just about to do the same if I could find anything, Geoff.
I will say Callisto Protocol on this Summer Game Fest kicked off what will be, I think, the year, or the showcase at least, of sci-fi horror games.
Yes,
Like,
there is
that
a
is-
lot of them.
Yeah. And they all look good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them are inspired by Dead Space, which is hilarious. Like Dead Space remake's coming out in January, and all these inspirations of Dead Space are coming out. It's really cool and great for the survival horror genre, I guess.
Right.
It's going to be really cool to have a space survival game in December when Callisto Protocol launches. Then December 1st? Something like that. Modern Warfare 2 gameplay was shown off. We got to look at new characters as well as some... Sorry, we got to look at old characters as well as some new ones. We got to also look at the updated engine that's running on Modern Warfare 2, as well as like some cool water physics showing off in the gameplay trailer. Gage, please.
Christian, you already know, man. We had a nice little moment, you and I, where we were both simping over Alejandro Rojas and his beautiful hair and his glasses. This game looks really good. It looks really, really good. I don't know. I'm very excited. Modern Warfare 2 is just, specifically the campaign is like, I think arguably the best campaign of any of the Call of Duties. So to see this sort of not only remade, but like them actually properly using the new engine, like we were all discussing, we thought it was really cool to have that wet work mission. But now, because you have the ship shifting in the ocean and it's moving the cover back and forth and it's creating this dynamic, like that is to me the perfect way to remake a game, similar to like how we talk about RE2, where it's like the core game is the exact same, but you're using the new horsepower you have to sort of just make it dynamic. And I cannot wait. Specifically what got me was a lot of, especially in the sizzle reel, I mentioned this on the stream, but there's a lot of like cinematography that reminded me of like Roger Deakins, like 1917, where it's like you have this awesome lighting on these characters and it helps that the new engine looks gorgeous. I'm extremely excited for this game. I can't wait, man. This looks awesome.
2 quick things I really enjoyed too was how well the animations still look on reloads, and how weighty they even look when I'm... Because one of the things that I loved about reloading in the Modern Warfare remake was like the controller vibrations that happen along with it. Like I felt the weight that was happening on screen, like when it shakes and when like your character like does like a hard press of the mag or something, and it looks just the same in Modern Warfare 2, if not better. And then just everything is so wet. And one thing that I really liked a lot, speaking of the way the new engine changes gameplay, is when water comes in through the window of the ship and takes out an enemy soldier and like knocks him down, and then your character shoots him. Just very cool dynamic stuff like that I'm really excited about. Okay, moving on. A game that Dan might remember when it was announced, like, what, 30 years ago? I don't know.
God, here we go.
Flashback 2, it was announced and is coming this winter, and I'm not gonna lie, actually, from the very short amount of gameplay we saw, just very briefly in that trailer, looks like it might be pretty cool. So
Yeah, I was really impressed with this.
Yeah, we were watching it, and I was like, I know what this is, but I can't think of the name of it. And then it came up at the end. I'm like, yes, of course, because I played the re-release of this. It was near the Xbox One PS4 generation, but yeah, interesting.
then we got to look at Witchfire, which Gage is really excited about.
Looks great.
Which one was Witchfire again? Was that the one that
This
looks
was the
like
game? Yeah, it's sort of like a high fantasy shooter, like Doom mixed with like Lord of the Rings or something like that. Like, I don't know. It was very, very cool. I mean, we first saw like a lengthy gameplay demo of this back in 2017. So they went quiet for a long time. The game's shaping up to be really good. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm ready for another fast-paced Doom-like shooter. And usually I'm not a fan of like fantasy shooters and the art style, but for some reason this one was doing it for me. I'm excited to see how this game shakes out.
honestly, the fantasy setting is what intrigues me the most, and like how they use that with like to tie into the guns like that.
Right.
It's just really cool. Yeah, you're right. Moving on, the return of sci-fi horror games with Fort Solace. It was announced, and it stars Troy Baker and Roger Clark of RDR2 fame. It looks very cool. We don't know much about the actual game, but we do know it is a narrative-focused game with high intensity action throughout, which immediately put on my radar. With these actors, yeah, for sure.
But
Yep.
I think the cool thing here was like this is an independent developer, a small little studio that basically called them up and were like, "Hey, do you guys want to do this?" And they were like, "Yeah, this sounds awesome." So I think that's really cool that just a little studio got to work with both Troy and Roger. Really cool.
I think that's something that a lot of people are missing out. I'm really glad you brought that up, Dan, is because video games are not the same way as movies. Like, I mean, video games take a really long time to make. So for an extremely busy voice actor like Troy Baker to look at this small studio and whatever they showed him, whatever they pitched him to go, yeah, I'm gonna dedicate months of my life to this thing. Like, to me, that has me really excited that however the gameplay shakes out, the story obviously was enough to hook these two huge names. This is the first game that Roger Clark's doing since Red Dead 2. He's not done anything else since Red Dead 2, and he's signed on for this as well. So I'm very, very confident that whatever they saw, whatever they pitched them, at least this game's going to have a really interesting concept. So I'm very excited for this.
Do you guys find that wild that Rockstar finds these actors that, like,
Yes,
they do these roles and then for their games and then they go off and disappear for a while? Or like, in Trevor's instance, he went on to do TV stuff from GTA 5, the dude who plays Trevor. I can't think of his name. But yeah, it's so wild. They normally like just disappear and you're like, where did they go? Like,
I gotta shout out again. Polygon has this awesome 9-minute documentary about Rob Wiedoff, the guy who plays John Marston in Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2. And they found this guy. He came in and did Red Dead 1, and then he left the industry and never did anything again until Red Dead 2. And I don't think he's done anything since. But really, again, how they found him, and he's not an actor or anything like that. Highly recommend people watch that. But you're right, Dan. Their scouts or their casting directors, they're able to sort of see something in people and really hone in on that.
I do want to say as well. I think this was the game that Troy Baker was talking about, the mocap, because the mocap they were doing is like, I don't know how high tech it's supposed to be, but I think they were talking about like how it is being super intense, specifically with like the not coordination, like stunt coordination they were doing, and the stunt coordinator was like really getting Troy like inspired. I think they told the story of like, I don't think I can do this, and the stunt coordinator was like, not only will you do this, like not only can you do this, you will do this, and I'll teach you. And like, I don't know, that aspect is really, I think it's really cool when actors get to like be there in person and do mocap and do not just be there like to capture like their movements and their animations, but to do like heavy, intensive, like here's a full scene that we're doing and we're doing movement. That stuff, when they do mocap like that, is always inspiring and makes for really cool gameplay segments or cutscene segments. So I'm that really fascinates me for Fort Solace. Moving on, Routine, after being announced nearly a decade ago, was shown off again, and it is more sci-fi horror featuring robots and a very cool, almost VHS-inspired camera on the back of your gun. I don't know, but I am so fascinated. I can't wait to eventually check this out.
The Android design, absolutely terrifying. We didn't get to see a lot of this game, but it was funny because this came up, and I think both Christian and I were thinking like, okay, another sci-fi. And then when he turns around, you finally see that robot, the android behind you. Oh. Terrifying. I love it. I'm in for it.
My favorite thing about like where we are with video games is lighting, or the lack thereof. Like atmosphere in these games has been insane, and like it really excites me. Speaking of lighting, The Rock certainly looked good in his gym Iron Paradise lighting when he showed up shirtless with his Noah energy drink sponsored ad for Black Adam. Nothing more to say there. Geoff's got to pay the bills, I suppose, somehow.
Yeah.
Then we got to look at High Water, which was revealed, and it is coming 2022. Moving on, American Arcadia is coming soon to PC and console, and Gage is really excited about it.
Looks really good. Truman Show, but a video game. Like, all right, I'm interested.
Yeah. I think this was like the dystopian one where you have to escape this like city that seems like it's a peaceful city, but it's actually not.
Right, everybody's watching
lives,
you.
Yeah, everybody's lives are being televised and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Then we got
sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just saying, I think Ro and I both commented that looked very like it almost seemed like a We Happy Few type vibes. With like sort of dystopian thing. So yeah, it looks really interesting.
And then we all got debated.
Phenomenal.
Skipping 2. It is not Dead Island 2. It was Goat Simulator 3, and it's coming this fall. What a hilarious trailer.
I will not play this game at all. I tried Goat Simulator 1, and I get what it's trying to do, but it's still just surface level for me and not enough. I think this was my favorite moment of the show, just the trailer. Because they got everyone. We were watching this, and I was like, this is insane. Nowhere ever has a publisher just given up a project and given it to somebody else because it shows Coffee Stain, and I was like, they're an indie developer. I thought Deep Silver, like, this was nuts. This was absolutely nuts. I can't believe they did this. This is great. This was just, I love this. I absolutely love this. This was the moment of the show for me.
And it's very self-aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, which is perfect for Goat Simulators, but cool stuff.
And is there even a Goat Simulator 2? Like,
no.
I think.
I was going to say to skip the sequel, or skip 2.
Yeah. I love that. I love that type of humor. That's amazing.
We then got another trailer for Marvel Midnight Suns. Spider-Man is in it. Of course, we knew that. But Venom also in it. He's a villain. Cool stuff. I don't know. Midnight Suns, I might check out. I want to try like I think it's an RTS, card-based RTS, but it's not deck building.
It's like XCOM, if you've played XCOM.
Okay.
Similar.
I don't know. I might check it out.
Yeah.
And then we got a new trailer for Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course. Again, that is launching June 30th on Game Pass. Looks fantastic. I think, starring Miss Chalice.
I just wanted to say, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but the DLC costs below $10, right? Is less than $10 to buy this, or is it more than that?
I don't know.
Not sure.
From what I've gathered, that this DLC is $10 or below is insane for the amount of work and animation that they're putting into this. It's like, that is crazy. I don't know how long the DLC is, but I know how much work they must have put into obviously the base game and this DLC. Is like, that's insane that they're giving this away for $8. If I'm right, I should double check on that.
You're correct. $8, 10 Canadian. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a steal of a deal right there.
I can speak a little bit on the length part because I was not me personally, but I was listening to Kind of Funny. They were kind of talking about the games that they played at Summer Game Fest, like that little like for the journos to play all these games. Tim Geddes was saying that the size of it is if you played the original Cuphead, it's divided into separate islands. You know, each has like a few levels, and then of course all the bosses and like secrets in each island. So the Delicious Last Course is just like one island, standalone island, but it's the biggest. But it's the biggest one. So you get an idea about how much time or levels there will be there in the DLC. So, speaking of cool looking games, Neon White had a new trailer, and that is launching June 16th tomorrow, and that has gotten great reviews today. A lot of journos coming out and saying that it's a game of the year contender. So,
yeah. I put my R next to it and then I deleted it because I don't really know that much about this game, but I was going to just bring up exactly what you just said. I've been hearing great things, so I want to give it a shot.
Yes. Got a new look at Midnight Fight Express that is launching August 23rd. And then Hoyoverse was there showing off 2 of their games. A new game, Honkai Star Rail, was revealed. And the one I'm personally excited for is a new trailer for Zenless Zone Zero. That game, again, not a gacha game. It is a action RPG. I will be playing ZZZ.
Yes. I totally forgot that this was the Genshin people. When I saw that you were excited for it, I was like, oh, what game is that? I was like, oh yeah, that one. And I'm pretty excited for this one too. I just forgot the name of it. But this one does look cool.
Yes. I love anime people. Casey Jones joins TMNT with a 6-player online and local co-op mode in that game, and that is launching again tomorrow on Game Pass. Maybe us 4 will play it sometime.
Heck yeah.
Yes, Friday.
Maybe Friday.
Ro can't play Friday, right?
I can. It just that'd be later in the day.
Okay. Well, yeah.
At night, I guess, but we'll see.
You're
It won't be
Eastern,
late
so
for you.
it'd be
Yeah,
fine
I was
for
gonna
me,
say.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Back to anime, we got a new look at One Piece Odyssey. So there you go for you One Piece fans. I should maybe watch that show or play the game. I don't know. Soul Hackers 2 gets an English dub and is launching August 26th. Bro.
Yes. I'm very excited for this game. We're going to be talking about Persona later from the Xbox show. But I was thinking, I'm excited for Persona 6, but who knows when that's going to come. I want to play something like that. And Alice is dropping these games. They have Shimigame Tensei 5, I think, that released on the Switch a little while ago. I didn't play it. And now they're giving us this. I was like, maybe I should actually play it and not complain about Persona 6 being years and years away. Because this is basically just Persona. It has the same demons and all that kind of stuff. The characters are similar. So I'm excited to give it a shot next 2 months from now. And I'm glad I got an English dub because yeah. That's just how I like to play my games. But yeah, I'm excited for it. And I'm excited that I don't have to play the previous one too. It's like the other Persona games, you can just jump in whenever you're ready. It's a separated story, so good stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Speaking of cool games, Metal Hellsinger is coming later this year. It also there's a demo live that day. Metal Hellsinger is the rhythm-based first-person shooter, just like BPM, but with metal music. And I've seen a few videos, and it looks really, really cool. I might be checking this one out. And then we got a new look at Nightingale. And Gage is very excited about this one. I don't remember Nightingale.
That's fine. It's another survival game. It's just my niche. It's like how some people really love the Gran Turismo or the Forza Motorsport sim games. I'm just a sucker for the survival sim, like the Arks,
like a Valheim.
The Valheims, the Arks, the Conan Exiles, those type of craft resources and build your base and all that stuff. So it's just something like that, except it seems to have a sort of a high fantasy twist where there's different dimensions that you have to go to get different resources. So you have to build this teleporter, and you have to find cards that will take you to different realms, and each realm will have different enemies and different biomes and stuff like that. So it just seems really interesting. I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on this one. Like I said, I usually play most survival games that come out, so I've got this one on my radar for sure.
Nice. For you Saints Row fans, Saints Row Boss Factory demo was revealed, I guess, and is out now for free. You can build your character. Apparently, the customization isn't as deep as it maybe was led on, but hey, if you're into Saints Row, you want to build a character, have at it. We got a new look at Warhammer Darktide, launching September 13th, and it is a 4-person co-op FPS, which actually has me it looked really good, and then was later confirmed. I think it's also coming to Game Pass, I think.
Yes. Yep.
So, for us to play, maybe?
Yeah, like a Left 4 Dead-like game, which I think the previous one before Vermintide, I think was also, or I'm sorry, Vermintide is the previous one, was a similar type of game. But yeah, this one looks really good, Darktide. And it's in my fantasy critic as well. So it's got to be good.
Yes.
The year of the
Um,
Warhammer.
I am absolutely down to play this. Yeah, we should all definitely jump into this.
Yes.
Bloober Team is working on an Unreal Engine 5 game, and it's Layers of Fear. Say what you will about Bloober Team, but like I don't know, they kind of nailed the spooky vibes in this one.
It's double plural. It's Layers of Fears.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
The original,
Don't
I
know.
think, was Layers of Fear, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was Layers of Fear 2, and now it's Layers of Fears.
Nice.
I don't know how I feel about that, but it's launching early 2023.
Double plurals, not a fan.
No, me either. Speaking of things I'm not a fan of, we got a new trailer for Gotham Knights, which I think Gage is making. I think Gage made a joke saying like every time that game is shown off, it looks less and less interesting, and I think he's right.
Yeah.
But finally, we got
hard pass.
Yeah, it might be for me as well, which sucks to say, but it is what it is.
Probably play it if it comes to Game Pass at some point.
There's so many, like you say, Christian. There's so many good games coming out. Like we can skip a couple, you know.
Yeah. Damn. Speaking of games I won't skip, Neil Druckmann took the stage and announced so many things, which I will cover for you right now. Factions 2 is now a standalone multiplayer game. Concept art was shown. It shows two people on top of like a building scaffold, and there's explosions in the background and smoke of like a giant city, which is set in San Francisco because there's a Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Factions now, interestingly enough, has a story mode and a new, or not story mode, but it has a story and a new cast of characters. It is big in scope. More info is coming next year. I personally am hoping that it is a Tarkov-like game.
Yes, I saw you put that in the doc, and I agree. That would be
awesome.
It's so perfect for this type of game too, because like think of the campaign. You go around, you loot things, you craft stuff like this. This absolutely would lend itself so well to that formula. And I feel like this has got to be one of Sony's 10 live service games that they want to get out before 2025. This has to be one of them. So I already had a feeling that this was going to be large in scope when they said, "Hey, we're not launching it with this," and then we didn't hear about it for another 2 years. So, oh man, I'm excited. I love this. I love it. It looks like there might be dynamic environment because in the background it looks like there's a wildfire going on in the city. Like, oh man, and also Neil Druckmann. All right, I was sipping a little bit for him. He's looking good. All right,
he's always looking good.
He's rocking the haircut. I noticed his biceps are looking nice and big. He's wearing a nice Henley t-shirt. All right, Neil, you're looking good, man. You're looking good.
Champ. Yeah, I can't wait for this. Oh my god. I mean, the original Factions was awesome, so I can't imagine what an expanded version that they put even more care into is going to look like. And so exciting. Yeah, can't wait for that.
I will say, all Naughty Dog multiplayer modes are underrated. Are they? Are the Uncharted ones good? They're fine. They're good enough. I have fun with them, but like Factions is legit like an underrated multiplayer.
Absolutely, Factions is awesome.
Yeah, I just really want to see what the story stuff is going to be like, how that's going to be weaved into the multiplayer. I think that's really intriguing. I feel like a lot of developers have tried that over the years, like incorporating story stuff into multiplayer. And I feel like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like, I want to see like what that looks like with the Naughty Dog type of cinematography and, story and characters. Yeah.
I mean, with the Bungie acquisition, I mean, PlayStation was pretty blunt with them saying that we are getting Bungie for their expertise in this genre of games. So, Bungie absolutely dominates this with Destiny, right? They're almost known for like every time there's a new season, like the Destiny fans go nuts, and there's so much lore added and so much stuff. So now that they have that under the same banner, like I'm sure that Naughty Dog already writes amazing stories, and now Bungie's probably there consulting them, telling them how to actually just sort of introduce it into the game, into a live service format. So I have high hopes, and I just want to take a little trip down memory lane. This just clicked, but Rashan, I think Last of Us Factions was the first game you and I ever played together.
Oh,
way back in the day.
That was a long time ago. Yeah,
that was a long time ago. Yeah,
2013. Do you guys also link your factions to Facebook?
No.
Oh my god,
I loved it.
I think I did do that, like on the PlayStation 3 when I had it there. But when I got the remastered version, I don't think I bothered doing that again. But Yeah, wow. I can't.
Let's
that
be
unlocks
friends on
memory.
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys were like the Facebook moms with the Farmville updates, where it's
Bro,
like,
I
Shane
don't
is
have
starving.
Facebook anymore. I
"We're Shan
deleted.
survivors need your help."
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it uses your friends list to name characters like in faction. Like, it doesn't post anything to Facebook.
That's
you
kind
know?
of cool. That's kind of cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know
That is cool.
So yeah. Do you remember, like, what is the old game? The old game, Oregon Trail. Like, it'd be like, this person died of dysentery or whatever. So it was like stuff like that. Like, you know,
that. Dirty
Gage.
Dan died of dysentery.
Like, literally, like, Gage is like starving.
That's awesome.
Incredible. We then got a new look at the Last of Us HBO show. It was wrapping shooting the next day, so now it is officially wrapped, and confirmed that Troy and Ashley have roles in the show. Can't wait.
Mhm.
Can't wait. Yeah, our new look was just a screenshot, but I was here for it. I like the screenshot. I looked at that screenshot for a very long time.
I think, if I remember right, Neil on stage said that he's confident that this is going to be the best video game adaptation of anything ever.
I agree. I have full confidence
so.
too.
Yeah, Dan.
No, I'm just like, I'm just always baffled by Gage's reaction, because I get this is HBO and the directors and everything is great, but like, I'm just like, where was this hype before the Halo TV series came
Oh my
out?
god.
I knew you were gonna say that.
2013 and came out in 2021. What do you mean? Where was the hype?
Get out of here. Anyways, yeah, I think, Gage, you were the one who said during the live stream that Troy and God, my brain just stopped. Ashley, yes, Troy and Ashley's characters are gonna end up being villains. I think that could happen.
I could see Troy Baker playing. I mean, no spoilers for The Last of Us in case you haven't seen it, but Trey playing what the character that Nolan North plays in the game. I feel like that would be really interesting. He kind of has that physicality, right? Because that's the thing with Troy Baker. He looks nothing like Joel, and that's the magic of video games. But he does kind of have that that physicality of the character that Nolan North plays in the game. So that would be a really interesting twist. But yeah, I could just see them doing that as opposed to having those two characters portray similar characters to the main characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they would do something like that. I think they're going to try and make them different in some way. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Very exciting. Moving on. The Last of Us remake was finally unveiled, although it was leaked that morning. Sad. It indeed launches September 2nd. It's also coming to PC, but we don't know if it's day one or not. They haven't set a date for that, but it is coming to PC. The game features reworked models, animations, and overhauled gameplay. Essentially, you're buying TLU 1, but with TLU 2 levels of gameplay.
That's what I want.
Right. And it includes Left Behind DLC, however, with a full $70 price tag. Should have been cheaper? Maybe, if I'm being honest. But development costs, I understand, and it's looking really good. So I might buy this.
I think we're all maybe jumping the gun. I think we should reserve until we see gameplay, because
Sure.
if it's just graphical, I totally agree with everyone, because the original game holds up really well, and that's just a testament to Naughty Dog and how they're fucking wizards at what they do. Because that game launched on the PS3 and it looks gorgeous, right? But if this really, like, I mean, if you really think about the gameplay upgrade from Last of Us 1 to Last of Us 2, the dodge system, the dynamic combat, like,
so good.
If it really plays like that and you're doing it all as Joel, like, I'm so here for that. Like, I will absolutely pay full price for that. And that is a bit more intensive than just like a reskin. You know what I mean? Like, that is actually sort of putting in work.
And they did also overhaul the AI as well. So it's
exactly.
not just,
Dude,
yeah.
Like, there's going to be those scenes where in like Last of Us Part 2 where they have the AIs calling out to their friends.
Oh,
that kind of stuff. They're gonna put that. Right. They might put that into the first game. And like, there's going to be a lot of scenes where that's going to hit again, even harder than in the second game. But
absolutely,
yeah, what you guys are saying about the just being graphical, I understand why people were a little bit upset about the full price tag. And now that we're talking about it, I guess I understand it a bit more, because I was of the mindset like Resident Evil. No one was mad about Resident Evil remake, but those are huger or bigger jumps and more graphical upgrades and all that kind of stuff. So I guess I understand, but the first thing I thought was like, why weren't you guys mad about those remakes? I feel like this is, and they were paying the same price, but I guess
think
it's not such a big jump.
I think that's part of it, Ro, and also like the fact that if somebody who already bought this game on PS3 and PS4 and now their third time PS5, like
Yeah.
in my opinion, and I totally get the gameplay enhancements and all of that stuff. Obviously, the graphics hold up pretty well to now. I feel like Sony could take this opportunity to say, hey, if you bought this game on PS3 and PS4 or PS3 or PS4, one or the other, we're going to give this to you for $30 or something
That's a
like that.
lot of people, though. I feel like
Yeah.
everybody who has a PS4, or PS5 has The Last of Us.
The thing is, like,
Yeah.
I agree
But
with
I
you,
hear what
Dan,
you're saying. Yeah.
because everyone on PC, and let me tell you, there are going to be millions of people who are only on PC who have been looking at this game for years, who maybe only watched all the cutscenes on YouTube, that are dying to play this, that will buy it full price. And you know what, Dan? I feel like if Naughty Dog was an indie studio, they would do that. But it's PlayStation is known for being stingy with their $10 upcharges and all that stuff. I think there was no chance of this ever happening. Although if in a perfect world, if I was in control, I would do exactly what you're saying, Dan. I think that's totally fair. That's what they should have done. And I'm sure maybe that's what Naughty Dog would want if it was up to them, right? But it's Sony. They're not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I have one hot take before we move on, okay? I'm very excited for The Last of Us. You know me. It's my number one game of all time.
I'm worried.
Same.
I think the original models look better. When I look at screenshots side by side, I do think the remake looks better. Obviously, I'm not dumb, okay? But I look at the 2013 and I say, this game now has style,
right?
I like how like that style looks now, even looking back on it almost 10 years later. Where I look at it now and like the models, I don't know, something about it. I don't know.
Sorry, Gage, go for it.
I know what you're saying, and I half agree with you, but I think the problem you run into, because I was thinking about this, and I was like, why did they do that? Because specifically the car scene with Ellie looking out the window was the one that a lot of people are pointing to, where it's like, you know, she has such bright eyes, and you capture this emotion in the old version, and in the new version it kind of looks a bit dumbed down. But I think the reason they have to go this route has to do with purely with facial animation. I don't think you can increase the facial animation and keep the old stylized, because then you run into this uncanny valley sort of situation. So I agree with you. Specifically Joel's character model, I really prefer the old Joel to the new one. But I think they were at a crossroads where they had to, if they were going to increase the facial animations, which that is way more noticeable than the graphics. I was watching some some videos, and especially that the barn scene that everybody loves, where they're sort of arguing back and forth. The old, you're able to sort of blot it out in your mind because you're so taken, but the lip animations have really come a long way, and I think that alone they had to sort of increase the fidelity. But I agree with you that they are losing a little bit of that style, but I think they didn't really have a choice if they wanted to increase the facial animations.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much more time, but there was a test animation that came out today.
Yep.
And that was where I was like, I feel like what you're saying, Christian, I don't necessarily disagree either. We're losing something, we're also gaining something at the same time.
Right.
It's definitely a style change, and like the new test looks like a real life test. Like I could see that person on the street, and the old test looks just as good, but there was definitely something with the old test that I was like, wow, like the way that she's welling up in her face, like that's so good. And then I look at the new one, it's like, holy crap, she's about to cry. I feel like I'm going to cry now too. Like this is it's too good.
And like this, and it's like I say, the facial animations they had to increase the fidelity for this, because I watched that again and again, and you can see she doesn't open her mouth, but she sort of like exhales, and you can see her cheeks like inflate and then deflate really quickly in the new animation. I'm like, that is an insane level of detail, and that would look terrifying if you just kept the old version.
Yeah, sure.
That would look so unsettling. But I'm glad you brought that up, Rashan, because I watched that again and again and again, and I was like, holy shit! Like Naughty Dog is like masters of their craft. This is insane.
The Henry and Sam stuff is going to.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah,
but
Dan hates The Last of Us. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I had to bring you into the.
It's in my top 10 favorite games of all time. I'm very excited to play this. I'm just sad that I have to pay $70 to play it.
Get it on PC, Dan. You got a 3080. Please get it on PC.
last bit of news
I'll
here before we
probably-
move on. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Naughty Dog team has seemingly grown. Neil's working on a new project, but it's still too early to talk about. I am speculating that they are working on 3 games: Factions, a Last of Us PS5 port, unless Factions team moves to that after, or sorry, Remake team moves to that after, and then I'm praying new IP.
Yeah, hopefully it's that rumored sci-fi project that Neil wanted to do. Let me tell you something. I grew a little bit when Neil walked on stage. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
God. There was a little Twitter trend that was going on. I even just calling it a trend is a little bit giving it too much. It was a smaller community, but as the quote was, the screen goes black, the stage or the audience goes quiet. What logo pops up that makes you lose your mind? And I think for me, it's Naughty Dog. Like
Yep.
no matter, it's like I get so hyped when I see that logo now. Yeah, I can't wait for Neil's next game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose it.
That was me too until they
Oh no.
ruined it with Last of Us
Oh
Part.
my god!
Just
Dan.
finish the game, man. Anyway, let's talk about Xbox plus Bethesda Showcase, and a lot of stuff here, but I feel like this moment might be a bit quicker than how we covered Summer Game Fest. Let's get into it. It started with a gameplay trailer for Redfall, which actually, Gage, how is this looking for you?
I'm so hyped. I love this so much. I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah. It's seeming like it's gonna have like just as deep of a narrative as any of the Arcane games, but with 4-player co-op. And it seemed like I don't know if it was live gameplay that demo they were showing, but like it was running pretty dang good.
It was running really well. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love the blend. I love studios that blend genres, and Arcane has a track record of doing this. But it really looks like a. I know that they're Arcane themselves are saying it's not this, and I get what they're trying to say, but it is a Left 4 Dead like sort of experience, but also with Borderlands aspect of like leveling up your gear score and their skill trees and stuff like that. And it's like those two things put together, like absolutely sign me up all the way.
all the characters were revealed. They got their names as part of the trailer, and one of them has student debt, so I am indeed represented.
Yeah.
To my surprise, I lost my goddamn mind when Silksong showed up, and it is coming to Game Pass. By the way, I forgot to mention, every game that we will talk about here, with the exception of 2, are coming to Game Pass. And not just that, but within the next 12 months. So Silksong is coming within the next 12 months. In my opinion, it's still coming this year. Anyway. We got a new FPS game from Squanch Games called High on Life, which looks disgusting, but also fantastic. I cannot wait to check this one out.
The guns, they look so cool.
Yeah. And it's like it's such a Squanch Games, like Rick and Morty, like creator, I forget his name.
Justin Roiland
type of like the way they talk to you, and just everything, just that humor. It's
Dan
cool.
Harmon.
Dan, what?
Somebody told me that the guy who created Rick and Morty is also the guy who did Community. I was under the impression it's Dan Harmon, but I could be totally wrong.
I think he works with him sometimes.
Oh, okay.
No? Isn't the Rick and Morty team like a duo? Like it's Rick, whoever you just said earlier. I forget his
Dan
name,
Roiland?
Mr. Roiland, and somebody else, and that might be the other person. I don't know though.
Maybe.
Let's search
Yeah,
this
he
up.
is.
Let me get to the bottom of
Justin
this.
Roiland is the co-creator,
Just
so I'm
Roiland.
assuming, yeah, he's the
Oh,
other one.
okay.
I'm assuming.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yes, they both co-created it, and Dan Harmon does not voice one of the main characters. He voices Bird Person. I don't know who that is, but
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was a character in Rick and
we're
Morty.
both right. Look at that.
No.
Look at that. That never happens.
Never.
In my opinion, what is an absolutely insane announcement, Riot Games partnered up with Game Pass to bring you all the League of Legends champions, all Valorant agents, all Runeterra Foundation sets, and select Little Legends Unlocked and Teamfight Tactics, and that is arriving this winter. Absolutely insane for Game Pass to have a partnership like this.
Somebody said that it's like over $600 to unlock all the League of Legends characters. I'm like, what?
Whoa, that's insane.
What?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's an awesome get for Xbox and Game Pass. That's just keeps adding to the value of it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
No cap for you Valorant players. Then we got to look at a Plague Tale Requiem, which is coming 2022. I have yet to play the first Plague Tale, but Requiem is looking really good.
Highly recommend.
Okay, I'll play it. New Forza Motorsport was unveiled. It is coming spring 2023, and it is looking hot, man. It is looking really good.
This was something Gage was right on. Damn it.
Did he predict this?
Yes, I counterclaimed Dan's prediction that would come out this year. I said it was coming spring 2023, and I think it's coming out spring 2023.
I'll stop here for just a quick second and say that if they can get like ray tracing and 60 frames while you play, that's a huge win, because that's something that Gran Turismo doesn't have. You only get ray tracing when you're looking at replays, not during actual gameplay.
Right.
So that'd be huge for Forza. But either way, graphically it's looking fantastic. The autumnal colors of this trailer was just so good.
And a preview, as I think Gage, you also, or Christian, I can't remember who sent this in our group chat, but it's a preview of what we're going to get from Fable, I'm assuming in a couple of years from Playground Games, because they're using the same engine. So
yeah, which I did not know until that tweet. So yeah, insane. We then got new flight sim content, one of which is an aircraft from Halo, which I don't know if Dan was able to play yet.
Why? No, IGN. Why do you say? I saw the IGN article that said this, and I just drove me mad. And now you just said it, and I'm like, no, it is not the Halo aircraft. It's called a Pelican.
I didn't say that.
It's a Pelican. I know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. That is not a bird. That is an aircraft.
Dan's dementia's kicking in.
I like the Pelican. It's the Pelican from Halo.
Yeah, the aircraft from Halo. We then got a new trailer for Overwatch 2. PvP confirmed to be free to play, which we did not know until that announcement. Early access is coming October 4th, and a new hero was revealed. Her name is Junker Queen. Hell yeah.
I only care about Diva.
Yeah. Nerf this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I love her new design. She's got a ponytail now.
Oh, does
You were
she?
in the chat, you're like, where is she?
And she showed up. She didn't disappoint.
In a game that Gage thought was civilized. Oh, I'm sorry, Ro, please.
No, I'm just glad that it's free to play. I don't have to give them money now. That's great.
Yes. No, it's huge, because everyone was saying that whatever this game is shaping out to be does not justify a full price tag of a sequel. And it being free to play is a huge win, because the money you're paying for the sequel is for single player content only. So,
Right.
yeah. In a game that Gage thought was Civilization, which I said no, it can't be. Turned out to be Ara: History Untold, which is announced. Not much more details there, but a game about history. Cool.
Yep. I will. Then if I end up playing this, it'll be simply for charade, and that's it.
Hell yeah. Then the Elder Scrolls Online High Isle got a trailer and is launching next week. This week? Next week. Soon. New Fallout? No, it's 76 DLC called The Pit. Terrible name, and launches this September.
In the pit.
I will not be playing.
No.
Hot Wheels DLC is coming to Forza Horizon. It is out July 19th. Looks stunning. Hell yeah.
That looks really cool.
As Dan predicted.
Congratulations, Dan. A new trailer for Arc 2 was shown off. It is CGI again, no gameplay, I guess. It's coming 2023.
We saw Vin. That's all we needed, Chris.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Touche. Scorn is coming October 21st, and I am very excited for this. It looks disgusting.
I don't know why anyone is excited for this game. I don't get it. It's just gross. It doesn't look...
Have you ever seen a game that looks like that?
No. I've also never seen, a human shit in 7K. I don't need to. It's fine.
I would look at it.
Is that a reference?
And you'd send it to Podcast PXN After Dark.
Yeah, probably. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn launches early 2023. I was not too jazzed about it, to be honest. It looked a little rough for me, but people were really digging Flintlock.
Flintlock. Wait, that was that the cool like case one that looked? Or wait, no, that's something else. Sorry, never mind. Scratch what I just said from your memory.
I think it was like a third-person like action RPG, but a bit
It was
slower.
like an alternate history. It almost looked like World War One mixed with like fantasy or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
Started off with a bunch of people in trenches, and then she gets up and she's got her axe and she's
Traversal looked really cool though. I'm not gonna lie to you there.
Yeah.
Mojang revealed a new game, Minecraft Legends, a new action strategy game. So Gage, you were 100% correct. Yeah, very cool.
I know.
Not
I usually am.
Well, okay. Lightyear Frontier is coming spring 2023, and it is a space colonizing game. You know, kind of cute, kind of more of like a cute art style, but you know, your No Man's Sky kind of type deal.
I think through this part of the showcase, I kind of fell asleep because I was like, "All right, I don't care about this."
Yeah.
Hot take: I think I enjoyed Summer Game Fest more than Xbox plus Bethesda. But anyway, that's aside from the point. Gunfire
I don't
Reborn.
know about that.
I swear to God. Gunfire Reborn, a roguelite action game, is launching this October. And then we got... what? What's going
No,
on?
sorry, I just messed up. Nothing.
How dare you? A game looks really cool. A 2D game, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, is coming spring 2023. Again, the Game Pass looks really cool. A narrative indie game, As Dusk Falls, is coming July 19th, and is told through like stills in a almost like kind of comic book / watercolor art style. They were praising the writing, but that writing did not seem very good based on that trailer.
It did not. There was one point where you pointed it out, and I was, oof. He's like, sometimes doing the right thing is doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, that was
wow, man, that's fucking deep.
Yeah. Anyway. Naraka Blade Point is coming to Xbox with crossplay support on June 23rd. And Naraka is good. You should try it out.
I'm Very going cool. to. Yeah, this looks exciting. This looks really good.
That is the Ninja Battle Royale game. Mm-hmm. Obsidian, a new Obsidian game, Pentiment, is coming this November. That was a very cool, almost like children's book kind of art style. I don't want to say children's book, but that kind of art style.
Right.
2D. Looks cool.
Obsidian. Freaking wizards over there making tons of games.
Kudos to the leadership at Obsidian for just letting that studio experiment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from Outer Worlds to Grounded, which was a huge shock, to now this, which is an even bigger shock. Like, kudos to them, man. That's awesome.
Yes.
Grounded 1.0 launches this September, and I will be checking it out.
Good.
I'm stoked.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Erebon.
The other.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. The other thing is like we could end up seeing Fallout New Vegas 2 from Obsidian before Fallout 5 comes out.
I would love that. Or even if they gave Obsidian like the to remake it, like gave them charge to remake it. Use Unreal 5.
I would like that.
Go nuts. That would be awesome.
Fallout New Vegas, I think won. No, it did not win our poll for best open world game, but it was in the final 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Dan's pay to win strategy really paid off for him. Erebon Shadow Legacy launches 2023, and this is a game that I'm really excited about. Very cool third-person kind of stealth action game. You're using the shadows to kind of platform around. Very cool.
This one looks cool. I'm excited for this one too.
Then we got to look at Diablo 4 with a new trailer. A Necromancer class is revealed. It is the final class, I believe, in Diablo 4. Not a Game Pass game, and but Dan is very excited. Also, art style, gorgeous. I will say this.
It's really good.
Yeah, Diablo 3 was fantastic. That was the first time I've even played Diablo game, but Diablo 3 I love so much. The gameplay, the graphics of Diablo 4 look even better. I'm just very excited to check it out.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Sea of Thieves got an update for Season 7, a trailer. So, heck yeah.
This trailer, for some reason, it should have been really cringy, but I thought it was really well written, actually, and kind of funny. I don't know. I I really enjoyed this little sing-along trailer they did.
I thought it was a
pretty-
great trailer. I hated it. I did not like it in the showcase.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I thought it was weird.
Huh. I thought it was quite charming.
I liked it quite a lot, actually.
I would have liked to see like
Right.
some kind of details on what season 7 was looking like, not just the song. You know what I mean?
Nope, you get a musical and that's it.
I'll say,
That's
Gabe,
what-
that wasn't
that's fair.
kind of funny. This is podcast PXN. That's a different.
Ha!
Sorry.
Ravenlock is coming 2023. I don't remember what Ravenlock was.
I don't
Ravenlock and
either.
Flintlock.
Two different kinds of locks.
Ravenlock, I do not remember at all.
There's lots of locks involved. You have to lock pick.
Oh,
Okay.
here's one I do remember. I'm just gonna move on. I'm sorry. I don't even care. Sorry. Former artist members from Playdead's Inside unveiled. I mean, not just them. The whole team unveiled. Cocoon, which is coming 2023, a kind of puzzle indie game. It looks kind of mind blowing, to be honest. You're using these orbs to do different things. There's like 3 different colors of orbs. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But in this trailer, there was 3. Very cool looking game, and I am excited.
Very good.
Then we got a new game by Team Ninja, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. It's coming early 2023. Looking very cool. I might check this out, even though I suck at Team Ninja games.
And another Game Pass game that's crazy. Team Ninja, third-party developers, doing a day one Game Pass game yet again. But yeah, I think a lot of people were projecting like a return of Ninja Gaiden, but you know, this is even better, a new IP.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of, I don't know, third-party announcements, in what is, in my opinion, the most insane announcement of the day, Persona 3, 4 Golden, and 5 Royal are coming to Xbox Game Pass. And it was later confirmed it's also coming to Steam and PlayStation, but still, it is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Just absolutely insane for Xbox to get all these games on their platform. Thank you, Atlas. Thank you, Xbox.
Thank you, Atlas. Yes, I can't wait to play. We talked about my favorite game of all time, The Last of Us, earlier. I mean, all of us really like that game. Persona 4 is my second on that list, and I'm definitely going to replay it again. I have it everywhere I can, but I haven't played P3 yet, so I'm excited to try that. And I haven't played Royal yet. I played the original P5, but I'm excited to play Royal. So this is an awesome get, and just apparently fuck Nintendo, the most requested platform for these games. It's like, no, everywhere else but there. All right.
So for Persona newbies, what is the difference between like Persona 4 normal and like the Royal and Persona 5
DLC.
or I'm sorry, Golden and all that? Okay, DLC.
DLC and new characters, you know what I mean? Like it changes, like there's more story. Am I correct, bro?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I haven't played Royal, but I'm pretty sure like they introduced 2 new characters. They added some more stories. There's like an extra month, not an extra month, but an extra. Yeah, I don't know how they did that, but they added an extra month to the calendar, or a playable month, I guess. Maybe you would skip it and in the Royal version that you played through it, but yeah, just add more content pretty much.
2 things. One, I'm hesitant to say that Alice is saying fuck Nintendo. The way Nintendo operates, I feel like there is a chance that in the rumored Summer Direct, they could have this announcement that these games are also coming to Switch. Fingers crossed for you Persona fans. Yeah. And also, like, spoilers, I guess, for the video I dropped on games that we want on PlayStation Plus. One of the ones that I picked was Persona 3, because that game was not available on consoles at all. For it to be on Xbox, I think is fantastic, and not just Xbox, but like Steam and PlayStation as well, because that game is now way more accessible than it used to be.
Before we go into the next one, because we're probably going to go into this next one and the one after that, the one that we skipped, Ravenlock, that none of us remembered. I'm looking at the trailer for it, and it looks awesome. So I just wanted to put some respect on it. I'm going to check this out whenever it comes out. It looks awesome. It's like it has like these HD pixel, but it's 3D, and it's like an action game. It looks awesome. It's like Nier, but I wouldn't say it's like Nier, but the action is like reminds me of it, like the enemies and stuff. But it looks awesome.
Yes, so I remember this game now.
Yeah, just didn't remember the name for it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ro.
Yes, thank you.
But now it's time for the big daddy.
if you caught my reactions live, I screamed because Twitter was ahead of us by a few seconds, and I saw a picture of this man and I lost my shit. Kojima is working together with Xbox Game Studios, and it's confirmed now that yes, it is the cloud game, the rumored cloud game that Kojima is working on for one of his next games. Could be, I don't know, could be the horror game. What was the project name? Overdose. Could be that.
Yeah.
Could be something else. We don't know.
According to Tom Henderson, that is what it is. It's Overdose starring Margaret Qualley from Death Stranding.
Very cool. Love to see Kojima working with more people. Damn the freaks who say that Kojima should only be on PlayStation. Like this, I don't know.
Yeah,
People are weird about that.
That was the dumbest part of the announcement. Kojima having to come out afterwards to say, "Yeah, I'm still working with PlayStation. Fanboys, calm down." Like,
yeah,
why? People just
let's all get a grip here, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Dan, will you be playing this Kojima game? I mean, you don't know what it's going to be.
If it's a horror game, absolutely. Yeah, if it's the rumored game that they're talking about, absolutely. Yeah. And even if it's like MGS, Metal Gear Solid, I would totally be down. I just think like Death Stranding never captured my attention because it's just, it's a lot more, go from here to here and do these things along the way. And I just feel like I won't get, entranced by that, I guess. So maybe I'm wrong. I haven't played it.
It's on PlayStation Plus Essential.
That's fair.
So
fair. I can play it now. So.
It's a game you'll start and then put down after like 5 hours and never get to again.
I still have to finish Horizon.
Like I said. Yeah. And then the showcase closed with one of the biggest games that they could close with. A game that I am more worried than excited for, and I know I'm alone in that, but we'll get into it.
You're not though. I mean, maybe in this cast, but like online, it was more mixed than I thought it would be.
That's why I'm so confused. I would love to get your opinion because maybe you can sort of share what other people are feeling. Because I don't know how anybody walked away from this feeling worried. But anyways, go ahead.
What game are we talking about? Of course, I can't think of a joke. It's Starfield. I was trying to think of something funny. It's Starfield. Let me break it down for you because we got a lot of info on it. It was an extended look. And to be fair, a lot of it was really cool. Okay. Starfield, yes, confirmed first and third person. And then we learned later in the week, dialogue is in first person and characters do not have a voice, which according to Gage is a huge dub. And I had to look up why. And it was because I think it was Fallout 4. No, not Fallout 4.
Yeah,
76?
Yes.
Oh, it's Fallout 4. Okay. Just the voice acting wasn't up to snuff on a lot of those, and it also limited dialogue choices. So
that's the more important thing. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, sorry, someone else had something on that. Deep character customization was shown off, as well as like backgrounds that you could do for your character. There are numerous perks and much more. It's looking like it's going to be a very deep kind of customization, which is expected from an RPG, but to my surprise is like super deep. There are like a lot of like sub menus on the top that honestly excite me for what I want to do as like an RPG in space. Like that's awesome.
Really refreshing too, because the last couple of Bethesda games, like with the exception of Skyrim, it's like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 was both like, yeah, you can be who you want, but your character kind of has ties. It did kind of steer you in the lore to having a certain thing, like a certain sort of lore for your character, where this one seems to be fully like, no, you are a blank canvas, which is what I loved about Fallout New Vegas, is that your character was essentially that as well.
You pointed out during the live stream, Christian, it was really cool that the perk system, like if you pick like, you want to be an introvert or whatever, you can't also be an extrovert because obviously that wouldn't make sense. But like certain things get locked and unlocked depending on like what path you go down. So it kind of like really like makes your character, specific to you, whereas other people, have different builds. So.
Also adds replayability too, which is nice.
Yeah.
I will never replay this game. Based on how long it seems like it might be, no, there's no chance. I'll do one. You know what I mean?
I think
it's 30 to 40 hours the main campaign.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's one. It's a whole week's worth of work.
Okay. That's true. That is true.
I'm still worried about the way they're approaching morality system with how they kind of talked about the 3 careers or whatever, the 3 like starting paths that you can choose. Like that still worries me. But if the individual character customization is seemingly like as complex as it seems to be, like it was shown off, then that's okay. We got to look at some skill systems, weapon crafting, and outposts also confirmed. This is where I start to get my worry. Outposts is like busy work to me. I don't care about outpost building. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Like that seems like it's pretty cool.
We love it.
We love it here.
Yeah,
we love it.
I think it's just cool because it's not. I don't think it's required, or at least it isn't in their previous games.
Sure.
So I wouldn't think it would be here. So like, it's just something cool for people that are like creative that want to like build different things inside the world. It's just really, I don't know, interesting.
Something interesting. Oh, Dan or Gage.
I was gonna say, this is just for me. Like I said, like I'm the type of person who likes those survival games. So like obviously this is just hand in hand with that. Like obviously this speaks to me personally.
Yeah.
Something really cool that I think was said in that demo too is that you can hire people that you've met along the way to come work in your outpost.
Yeah.
That I think is a really cool kind of way to make that building a lot deeper and like for you to engage with characters more. So that aspect I really liked.
Right.
Which I think Fallout 4 had aspects of that, right, Gage? Like where you could have people go back to your base.
I don't know if you could specifically hire and place people. I just think that like if you kept certain requirements, that people would just sort of filter in and out of your. I'm trying to remember correctly because I haven't played Fallout 4 in a long time, but this seems like very much like you build like say a refinery and then you hire somebody to operate the refinery, or like you build a crafting station and somebody is there at that crafting station, which is a nice bonus because it makes it sort of feel alive. Like you build this. That's the one thing with some survival games that sucks, like Ark. Like if you're playing solo Ark, you can build this awesome city, but you're the only one there, right? So I like this. I like this a lot, where you're gonna have NPCs walking around and stuff like that. But I think you're right, Dan. I think Fallout 4 had some kind of very light version of this.
Do you know what's wild though? There was rumors for so long that this game was going to be an online, like, live service game, and it's not. Do we like? Is it possible that this game was at one point and then Fallout 76 came out and then they're like, wait, we can't do this with Starfield because the game has been announced for like 4 years now.
When did Fallout 76 come out? When did that release?
2018-ish, I think, or 2019 maybe.
This would have been early in development. If that was a thing, I think it was early enough that it didn't impact the systems of the game. It might have impacted what their vision was a little bit, but I think that absolutely. I think Bethesda's not going to touch live service again after Fallout 76 for a long time. I think they learned their lesson because that was disastrous.
And for a game this big in scope, I think that's probably the way to go anyway.
Right.
Yep.
About this point in the extended look is where those of us reacting were like, haven't seen space at all here in this sci-fi game. Could this be that, we only like are teleporting between planets and you don't actually fly in space? This is where we got to look at spaceship customization, which looks super deep. Gage is busting for this.
So good.
Yeah. I don't care about this. Sure.
You're nuts. You're nuts.
Customize your ship? Come on.
Like
I don't know.
Piece by piece, that's so cool. Different cockpits and like, oh man, I'm so here for it.
It's gonna be really cool, but like,
okay. Hopefully there's an option for people like you where it's like you can just go to like say like if you go to like a ship dock and like you can just sort of purchase. I would imagine you'd have to have something like that if you don't want to sort of if you want to skip all this because it does look very in depth. They didn't touch on it, but I noticed in the top left there was like 5 or 6 different bars where it was like shields and engine output, mass, stuff like that, where it's like. For people like me that are into that, like, and Dan, like, we're going to love that. But I would imagine there's going to be some sort of, like, you can buy presets or something like that. So if you can skip it if you want to.
You can easily spend, like, hours customizing stuff.
I'm
sure it'll affect how you travel and stuff, like, which is cool.
Yeah.
I spent hours creating my cyberpunk character. I'm going to spend freaking more than hours. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
He just spent hours on the dong screen. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Dirty Dan.
Exactly.
Pubes or no pubes, Dan? He's not going to answer that.
In my games or in... Yeah.
No, not in real life. Anyway. And where there are spaceships, There is space.
Ugh,
Space
that's
travel
great.
is confirmed. Though later in the week, we also learned that it's not seamless from space to planet and vice versa. So how that'll work, we'll have to wait and see. But space travel is indeed confirmed. And it wasn't just the galaxy. It was galaxies with over 1,000 planets.
This was
Huge.
the big surprise. I was not expecting that. When
Same.
he was, and the way Todd Howard did this, he has a way with words. He is an excellent presenter. The way he was building this up, I was like, oh, cool, every planet in the system, that's awesome. And he's like, and not just this system, hundreds of systems. Like, it was a very, very clever the way they did that. And I was not expecting this at all. I know a lot of people are worried that, like, a lot of these planets might be sort of maybe not populated or something like that. But it's like, I feel like if you're getting one system that's completely curated and it has, like, a really good quest line and all that stuff, everything else is just bonus. So I don't really see that as a negative. Because I think a lot of us were just expecting one system, like a couple of different planets. So the fact that there's 1,000, like, sure, every planet might not have some crazy, like, Whiterun style handcrafted city, but I mean, it just gives a lot of potential for modding, and that was the big thing that a lot of people who were positive on the game brought up is like, if there's this many planets, you could have multiple, like, mods that don't conflict with each other, that are total, like, campaigns that take place on entire planets or entire systems. Like, the modding potential for this game is going to be absolutely huge because of how
And
scope.
the other thing, linking back to what we were talking about a little bit ago, like, maybe that was the part of their original pitch of the live service was, let's do this one system at launch and then, go system by system and continue to build out those systems over a period of time. So maybe we get the DLC for this game that will be like, this system, here you go. We'll flesh it out and build it out a story for that
That's
system.
a good point.
So,
I didn't even think of what DLC is going to look like for this, and because that's something that Bethesda does really well, is they support a lot of their games with really, like, that's something that Bethesda does not get credit for. Every single one of their games gets extensive DLC, whether it be Fallout 4 or Skyrim or Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. They all get like 4 or 5 at least hefty, like, story add-ons with new campaigns and new missions and all that stuff. So I didn't even think about that, Dan. That's a really good point. Like, I'm sure that the DLC for this game is going to be awesome.
Here are my two concerns, and then hopefully you guys can pull me back in.
Okay.
Because as impressive as the game was, I have two, okay?
All right.
One, the narrative. In terms of richness and engagement and quality, I still have no idea of what that's going to look. And granted, like, it's Bethesda, right? So we know, like, it's an RPG. They write, like, enticing quests. And so a lot of it is built on, like, we've done great games before. That should mean that it should follow that Starfield is no different. But as, like, someone who is newer to Bethesda games, I saw nothing that was, like, enticing or even talked about here in terms of narrative richness. And so I'm scared that this is going to be a little bit lacking. So I just don't know what that's shaping out to be. When you say 1,000 planets, what does that mean in terms of, like, quests or side quests or something that, like, that's really going to immerse me in terms of, like, story and not just exploration and mining and resource gathering. So on that front, I just don't know.
If I had to bet, I would say that like the main quest line and even a lot of the side quests are only going to take you to, like, one system and maybe the neighboring 3 or 4. I really don't think this game is going to have you jumping all over the place to 1,000 different planets. I really think a lot of this stuff is there for just building out the universe and for the modding scene and maybe, like Dan said, for future DLC. But I don't know. Lore and universe building is the one thing Bethesda does really well. So now that we're actually playing a game that takes place in an actual universe, I think that this actually has the potential to be one of their best stories if they can really continue that hot streak with, like, Skyrim. Again, like, you take any one plot line or any one quest line in Skyrim and you can sort of, like, yeah, this is pretty good. But the fact that you get, 20 different really good, really thorough quest lines in one game, and that's what makes Skyrim special. So I think that's kind of like what my answer to that is like, sure, the main quest line might not be, Death Stranding, but if you have a bunch of, like, if you have 37 out of 10 quest lines that are all pretty good in one game, that kind of makes the whole game really special.
And echoing Gage's comments, also, I think, those planets will be there for resources. Like you have to
Yeah.
gather resources for your ships and all of your other things like in the world. So like I think those planets will be there for that purpose. Kind of Mass Effect 2-esque.
That was a
because
really
you
good
do
comparison that you made. Yeah, I agree.
Mass Effect 2, you do a lot of that. You scan planets and then you get resources, and you can even, I think you can deploy in certain areas on Mass Effect 2 on planets. But yeah, it's
And maybe for the narrative thing, maybe not quest, but I do think like the 1,000 planets and the expansiveness of this game can offer like a lot of water cooler moments. Like for
Yes.
Red Dead
Yeah.
2,
Sure.
I won't go into that too much, but there were like so many times where I'd just be exploring and then I'll come across this awesome like little side story that wasn't a quest. I didn't have to track down anybody, but like some of my most memorable moments in that game were just happened. So I feel like something like this can totally have a lot of those moments where you're just exploring a planet, just expecting to go get those resources that Dan are talking about, and then you just wind up upon this really cool story that you weren't expecting to run into.
My thing with Red Dead is like Rockstar went in depth to like make everything very specific for all those things. Like there was like a attention to detail that I'm again don't know like what a Bethesda game looks like with over 1,000. Like with Rockstar, like there's a finite space with over 1,000 planets. There's just like not everything's at the same level.
It will not have that level of detail for sure. I mean, like Rockstar is like Naughty Dog, where they're just kind of in a league of their own. But I think Rashan's right with the water cooler stuff, where it's like in Red Dead. I remember one time. It's your most viewed video on YouTube, I think, Rashan. I'm not going to spoil that cutscene. But I remember you talking about that cutscene, and I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not how that scene played out at all. And you're like, oh, well, did you do these side quests in Saint Denis? And I was like, no, I didn't even see those. So that exact moment is kind of like that is what the entire Bethesda game sort of structure is built on is those moments and sort of and having those sort of different experiences, which is what I'm really excited for. So I think Rashan, that is going to be a big appeal, and I think that's what they're banking on is those water cooler conversations of, did you go to this planet? Did you see this happen? Or I went to this planet and this happened. And it's like, oh, well, I did this quest, and when I went to that same planet, this actually happened. Like that's the type of stuff that I think is going to be really exciting for this game.
My last and final worry, it's kind of also a question. See where you guys feel. How do you guys feel about the AI? Because I rewatched it and I wasn't completely sold on how the AI was. Like during combat, there was one instance where like a enemy soldier, whatever, like turned around and was like walking away from you, and then the person shoots him. I thought a little wonky, but whatever.
Yeah, I to me, I just looked at that and I'm like, it's the creation engine starting to show its age. Like I think a lot of the animations, specifically for like that weird crab thing that shows up in the first place, I noticed all of its like 15 legs were actually hitting the ground where it should, and I was like, this is really improved. But like the actual AI as a whole, I think it is limited by the creation engine, and it's just sort of like it's showing its date, or showing its age, I should say. Yeah, I mean, to me, the combat just has to be fun. I'm not looking. It doesn't have to be necessarily the greatest, because I'm not really expecting that from a Bethesda game. But that's not necessarily an excuse. Like if the AI is bad, then the AI is bad. Sort of full stop. And I think that is totally a fair concern, because AI has never been great in any Bethesda game. There's usually ways to cheat the system fairly easily, and sort of like, oh, if you just stand in this corner, you can just shoot this guy and he'll just stand there and do nothing about it, and you can kind of cheese the entire game like that. So I mean, that's definitely a possibility for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely part of the Bethesda jank that they got to include in. But yeah, I think that is part of the charm of Bethesda games. Like you can get these really crazy and cool moments, kind of like what Ro was talking about, the water cooler moments. Like that could be as simple as like the AI doing something weird that you don't expect, because there is that weird jank there. So
right,
yeah.
As long as it's not broken jank,
Yeah.
There's a certain level where it's like it's charming and like part of the experience. That I'm 1,000%. Yeah. Starfield's shaping up to be pretty cool game, and it's looking like it's living up to a lot of people's expectations and dreams, and I'm really hoping it launches, and it's coming to Game Pass, so I'm really hoping it's great. So,
and you know what, one final shout out is that this seems to be, like, in terms of tone, this seems to be Bethesda's most mature game, which is what I was really surprised at as well, because you have Fallout, which is very Tarantino, very like tongue-in-cheek humor, kind of balls to the walls parody of American bygone era. You have Skyrim, which is high fantasy and like just like out there. Whereas this, this looks very intriguing from an atmosphere standpoint. Like I'm really interested to see how this shapes up. I'm very excited personally for Starfield.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, that's gonna do it for us, which I think now would make me the longest episode running. But
hell yeah, not me anymore.
Christian,
So,
you walked us through that masterfully. I looked at this and I'm like, that is a lot.
if
of
I was
content.
hosting this fucking episode, then we would be done at like 11 o'clock.
yeah.
I just wanted to shout out Kurok real quick in the chat, in the Twitch chat, because we haven't checked in on him, but he is excited to play Starfield as well. Very
Hell
excited.
yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us.
I'm gonna play it as well. So
it's coming to Game Pass. Why not? You're
Why
getting
not?
A brand new,
absolutely
AAA experience, and it's coming to Game Pass.
51 games covered, all of them coming. 49 coming to Game Pass in the next 12 months. Absolutely insane.
Yep.
Stellar work from Xbox. Thank you to everyone joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, me. Thank you, Gage. Dan, hope you're enjoying your vacation. And this has been Podcast PXN, and we are outie. Oh, sorry, Dan, please say it. You know the words.
Much love and
keep on gaming.
Keep rolling. Oh, I have to end the stream. See you, everyone.